Now, this guy is obviously, he's a merchant. You can obviously tell by the way he looks. If you just talk to him, you can buy stuff from him. You can't buy anything from him right now, and it wouldn't really matter because you wouldn't want to buy anything from him right now. But he'll kind of be wandering around the course of the game. You 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 can benefit from him, or you can not benefit from him. Most of the time, I find that I don't really need it because I usually should have the items that I need before I get there. Also, now the R1 button will show me a map of where I'm going. As you can see, anywhere on the map is going to be circled with this blue marker here. And that's going to be a story marker. Later in the game, we also will get side quests, which will have a different color marker, but they will also be marked on the map. And if you try to go anywhere else at this point in the game, like I said, that guy wasn't hostile, but we want to fight him anyway. Now, like I said, if you're not cheating, do these battles. Don't be shy. Go up and fight these battles. Get used to the battle system. Now just wiggle, 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 and he falls off. Little enemies like that will tend to get on you like that. You just wiggle, wiggle, and they'll fall off. Invasion Plus. You got one up on Invasion Plus. Okay, so if you try to actually leave the map at some of these points, it won't let you leave the map. It'll be a plot wall, and you won't be able to leave the map. But everywhere that you see an enemy, and every single side path, you want to kill every single one of them because you need that experience and you need that money. You won't be getting as much experience and money as I am. As you can see, we just learned Sky Splitter. Now, if I go in and I look at my status, I can go under my attacks. Now I have another attack. So, and if you look, it also has a CP of 2. So when I equip it, I can equip it at 5 at a time because it takes 2 CP each to use them. So it will take so I can only fit 3 on the 6 CP weapon that I had before. So what I want to do instead is I want to go right, left, right, left, and then hit a Sky Splitter. Now I have a 5-hit combo with a combo ender. And the Sky Splitter itself, you can see what it does right here in the description. A jump followed by a downward plunge. Inaccurate, but deadly. So it's basically, this is a good move to end a combo with. It's going to be my combo ender for a little while until I get a better attack, or until I get a better sword with a higher CP. That's going to be the combo that I have for quite some time. And I would recommend that as a combo for now, and just keep that as a combo for the most part for quite a while until you're able to learn some better attacks. I'll show you the better attacks. Some of the attacks on one-handed swords are pretty useless, to be honest. The benefit of using a one-handed sword, though, is that it's a little faster and a little more accurate than using, say, a two-handed sword or an axe. And if you go in and you can see 2 of the types of swords of weapons that you will be able to equip later in the game just by going into Gans and Ridley. Gans uses a two-handed sword. If you notice, if you look next to it, it has a different little picture next to it, a little wider. It's a two-handed sword, and Ridley uses axes. Um, Two-handed swords, they're more damaging than regular swords, but they're also a little slower. Um, they also leave you a little more vulnerable to attack, um, especially during some of their in between combo spinning and such like that. Um, Axes are really good in short bursts. They do lots of damage in short bursts, but they're also very, very slow. So you have to keep that in mind. A lot of people will like to use an axe and use a single attack. Do you just run, do dodge, do a single attack? Because some of the attacks with an axe will do multiple hits. Some of the attacks with the double sword were all double-handed sword will also do um, double attacks, but they tend to be really, really slow and be very much interruptible compared to axes. Um, he uses um, range type attacks. He throws poison gas and he does recover a little bit. It's pretty minuscule, ought to be honest. Um, we will recruit this character. Because like I said, I'm gonna kind of recruit every character in the game, which is a little bit of a tall task, simply because there are 177 of them. So it is a little bit of a tall task, but I'm gonna be working on it. Clive, we'll go through recruiting later, but Clive is pretty much useless. I wouldn't ever really invest into leveling him. The only reason he's going to be leveled in my game is simply because I'm cheating and he's in my beginning party. So he's forced into my beginning party. Now, okay, so we're going to look at the map here. Now, odds are you're going to come over here. There's some enemies over here. That's why I came over here, because this is what you should be doing. Is you should be coming over here and fighting these enemies. Like I said, you want to fight every single enemy. Now, another mechanic in the game is going to be a day-night cycle, which is going to be important later on for a multitude of different reasons. For one, characters will have their own cycles of day-night. They have their own cycles of when they're going to be in different spots in the game. Okay? And those might be important for you, because if you at some points in the game you're kind of on a time restriction. That's why I've got a certain path of things that I'm going to be doing to try to maximize my time within the time restrictions that I have. um, you don't have to do it this way. You can kind of recruit on your own. You can also watch what I'm doing and just follow what I'm doing. Or, I can tell you at moments in the game where things become um, I guess, point of no return also. So, um, also be doing that. And those weren't hostile, but I kicked them anyway so that we can get into a fight with them. And like I said, this is what you want to be doing. You want to fight every single one of these fights. It's going to be very, very important for when we get to our destination of Earth Valley. And I'll probably will leave in these first few fights. As you can see, this bridge is out. So, unfortunately, we won't be able to go down here into the Dwarf region. If you talk to the guy, as you can see, we won't be able to go there. And this is true for most houses. See, this is their home. If nobody's there, generally they will just knock and you won't go in. If it's someone's home, generally you won't be able to go in their home. If you knock, then nobody will be there, and you'll just stand there. If they're home and asleep, then when you knock, you'll get just a line of dots. If you knock and they're still awake, you'll get a response. But sometimes that response may not be beneficial. And sometimes if it's a story plot point, they'll just always be there. And I'll tell you moments like that. Okay, now that we've fought. Now, with the day-night cycle, you can press the R1 button to bring that up. Okay, and I've paused it with it up here so that you can see This progresses basically 1 minute in real time is 1 hour in the game time, typically. Okay. You can do some waiting, but generally when you go to sleep, you wake up at 6 a.m. Or I'm sorry, 7 a.m. every time that you go to sleep. So if you want to progress the day by 1 day, or base basically if you want to get to 7 a.m., that's kind of our reset timer, is get to 7 a.m. Okay, now you can wait that time. Okay, this day night cycle is important for, like I said, recruiting characters, but it's also important for the monsters that spawn in the areas. As you can see, I'm running back through and there's no more monsters. Well, these monsters will not respawn for 24 hours. I missed one. But these monsters won't respawn for 24 hours. So any monster that I've beaten along my path at this point will not be there until another 24 hours in game time from now, or until the next day, which will end at midnight. So at midnight, which I'm at like 9 a.m. right now because I slept and I'm just starting out on my journey. We started at 7 a.m. So looking at the time right now, it's almost noon. We're quickly approaching noon. It's about 10 o'clock right there on that timer. So here we're in the Nouveau region. Um, if you go back here, I believe there's an item. Yeah, right there. If you saw the little chest there in the corner, it's an invasion berry. This will come in handy because it basically permanently increases a stat for one character in the game. You use this on a character, and they will get +2 permanently on their stats for evasion. Now, I'm not going to be using this right this second. Now, I would suggest that you either use it on him or you save it for a stronger character later in the game. Your choice. But it's probably best just to go ahead and use it on Jack. Now, you're only going to have one of these. I have obviously a whole bunch of them because I'm cheating, but you're only going to have one of these. And once you use it, it will be gone from your inventory. Me, I'm just going to go ahead and organize my inventory. That way, it's in a spot where I can find it. And there's going to be different berries for each one of those stats that you saw on the board. Now, you can stop and talk to the characters for some kind of backstory on each character. Um, I'm not going to really talk to every single person. I'm only going to really talk to those who are important to talk to at the time. We also want to try to learn as many of the sword skills as we possibly can in these early battles. Basically, you want to try to compete with your other team members on killing things. We want to try to kill as much as possible because of the fact that I gave you the night sword. I showed you how to get to the night sword. I do recommend using the night sword for a majority of these early plot. I'll show you a better weapon to use when you get there. Oh, and I should tell you that anytime you're in a battle, it pauses time, in game time. Time will not pass while you're in a battle. Also, if I'm in my menu, time will not pass. If I'm in the map, time will not pass. And if I press pause, the time will not pass. So basically, anytime you're doing any of those things, the time the time in the game will not advance. So it's kind of useful if you're trying to plot out your next area to go. Um, your next objective. Because, like I said, sometimes you're on a time constraint on different things in the game, and I don't know. From here on, I may start to edit the battles out after this one. This may be the last battle that I play for a while until other things become prevalent. I might put some battles in just to explain different statuses because I'm going to basically explain them as they happen in game, um, or as you need to worry about them from other enemies. Right now, you don't have to really worry about status effects. There's not going to be any real major status effects that affect you right this particular second. And as you can see, there's a plot wall. So you don't really have to worry about like not knowing where to go because for this particular moment during some basically most story missions, um they're um during most story missions they're going to be plot walled, so you're not going to be able to go to the different areas and explore different things. um there will be moments where they let you just kind of plop you down and explore, and sometimes and different things will activate the next plot story event, and I will explain those to you each time that you that 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 does happen, because you don't some there are some times that it's beneficial to wait to advance the narrative of the plot. Okay, there's another enemy over here. Want to try to get his attention. Somehow he flew off the map. Come here. Where's he going? What the hell? Why can't I fight this guy? There we go. Okay, so in that last battle, I learned a new attack, the cross slice attack. So I'm going to change my combo up a little bit here. So it's going to be a little shorter now because of my use of CP, but I'm going to change my combo now. We're going to go right, left, cross slice, and then sky splitter. I would recommend, because the only weapon that you have is this knight edge. It's with one-edged swords. I would recommend that as your combo. It will be very useful. Like I said, if you kill an enemy, try to halt your combo if you can, because you can get combo locked and it can prove very bad in some of these fights. And I'm going to take a look at the map here. If you look at the map, basically you want to take this path up here to get to the map. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be clearing out all the enemies, even on the side paths, anywhere that we can go to. If we can go there, we're going to go there and clear out the enemies for today. Um, I'll let you go ahead and clear out these enemies. I'm not going to walk the whole path. I'm not going to let it show the whole path. I'll let you go ahead and explore that as far as that goes. So I'm going to go ahead and meet you over here at this spot when the story scene, and go ahead and clear all the enemies out. All right, so we're up at the top of the hill, just before the next cutscene. Um, like I said, you should have cleared out all the enemies. You should have made sure to fight every single one of them, including any enemies that you had to kick in order to get to fight them. Um, make sure you clear out all the enemies that you possibly can. You're going to need it for the experience. Um, try to learn as many of the um, skills for your sword as you possibly can. At this point in time, um, from this point right here, once you can actually get down here, there should be like a little snake somewhere right in this area of an enemy. But once you can see the top of this, that's your story gate point. That's your point of no return. Um, You could feasibly, if you wanted to, wait your timeout until midnight, until that this little afternoon, so it's like 12:30 probably on my time here. Um, but if you were to wait until midnight, when that hits midnight, immediately after, because your screen will go basically black at midnight. Don't freak out. That's normal. That's supposed to happen. And then it'll come back, and that will basically have loaded in a new day, which means um, anytime that you're trying to do things, enemies will respawn in any areas that you've cleared out for that day. And anybody that you've talked to will have new dialogue options to say because it'll be a new, fresh day for them. Most of the time, most people in the game are asleep during that time. That time frame, usually anywhere from 9 p.m. until 3 a.m. or until 6 a.m. Somewhere right around that time frame, people generally will be sleeping. For the most part, not everybody. Okay, that was your little introduction to the dwarf city down there. There's gonna be some more enemies down here. Um, I'm just gonna. The path is very linear. There's no different branches off from this point right here. I'm gonna clear out the enemies and I'm gonna meet you down at the gate. Introduction to Earth Valley. Okay,